I'm just pulling out the last of our swordfish cutlet. Again, you don't have to use flour and egg if you use the swordfish. You press it right into the crumbs. The breadcrumbs themselves have tons of flavor. It's garlic cut into flat leaf parsley, tons of orange and lemon zest, and chili flakes for heat. Salt and pepper your fish before you press it into the crumbs so it's perfectly seasoned. Now you're going to take the entire tray of this, pop it into a 275 oven. Don't forget your wire rack. That keeps the breadcrumbs crispy on the bottom. Let those hang out in the oven and stay nice and crisp. Now we're starting a side dish, a veggie side dish, Caponata, which is traditionally a sweet and sour appetizer. We're gonna make a chunky, just nice, fresh, tender, crisp combo of eggplant, onions, a little chili flake, or you can use fresh red chili peppers, and some crunchy, bright celery, and buttery olives. You just let that all cook up in the pan together with garlic and a little bit of tomato, and it's a delicious side dish. And the leftovers are fabulous on a hunk of bread the next day. Delicious lunch. So a little bit of celery. I like the celery hearts because you can use all the leafy tops in there. When you're using celery, don't cut the tops off and throw them away. It's the most delicious part of the celery. 1 large onion, a few ribs of celery with the leafy tops, 4 fat cloves of garlic, crushed or grated. When you use these little handheld graters, they're lovely, but be careful you don't grate yourself into your recipe. That's a very weird and kind of gross source of protein. So we salted our eggplant first, not necessarily to take out the bitterness, because that's been bred out by our farmers, but to dry out the eggplant so it doesn't absorb too much oil. You don't want greasy caponata. Lots of garlic goes in there. And then lots of Sicilian olives. Now, when I make this as a holiday appetizer, I add raisins for sweetness, sometimes a splash of vinegar for acidity. I add capers and toasted nuts. We're keeping this nice and simple. It's kind of a streamlined version of caponata as a chunky side dish to our Sicilian swordfish cutlets. A little crushed red pepper. And give that a toss. And now at this point, once you have all the veggies in the pan, salt goes in at the end because you're getting salt out of the olives. And if you used capers and a splash of their juice, you get salt out of that as well. So salt it when it's done. But I pop a lid on it at this point to kind of force the veggies along a bit. Once they start to get tender and the onions start to get soft, then you're gonna pour in a small can or 14-ounce can of crushed tomato, or you can hand crush some San Marzano tomato. Throw a little bit of tomato in towards the end. We're finishing our fabulous cutlet supper, and instead of chicken or pork, like a schnitzel or a chicken parm, we're doing swordfish cutlets. What's so great about swordfish is that, well, it's just like chicken. It just kind of tastes like whatever you roll it in. In this case, the breadcrumbs with tons of chili flake and lemon and orange zest and grassy flat leaf parsley and lots of garlic. So we didn't even have to add the flour or the egg. The swordfish is so moist and tender, you could press it directly into the breadcrumbs. Then you just quick brown it on each side in a bit of olive oil. To go along with it, this super healthy, chunky caponata. Eggplant, yeah, the brightness from and the crunch from the celery, onions, garlic, chili flake, Sicilian olives, all cooked together. At the very end, I stirred in a little bit of crushed tomato. You don't want it to look like tomato sauce. It's a vegetable side in this case. We're going to add some more crunch with some toasted pine nut. And then we're going to finish the dish with basil. A thing to know about fresh basil is that when you bring it home from the store, it actually does not like the cold. It bruises basil. Keep your basil as you would fresh cut flowers on your kitchen counter in a little water. Change the water regularly. Trim the bottom. And then I put a large plastic food storage bag over the top. It acts as a greenhouse, and the basil will stay bright and pretty until you're done using it. Ah. Yeah. I love that. You know, when I'm here, everybody thinks, oh, that's so exciting. I go home, I'm cooking all by myself, drinking wine in the kitchen. I feel like the biggest loser because nobody says anything. I'm like, yeah, I'm tearing my basil, and nobody goes, oh. My friend gave me the coolest gift at the holidays. It's the funniest pair of socks I've ever seen. You put your feet up and you read the bottom of the socks, and it says, if you can read this, bring me a glass of wine. Okie dokie. So here's our beautiful fish cutlets. Look at that. Get your family excited about eating more seafood. So you can make this, of course, with chicken if you really don't care for swordfish, but these cutlets, man, they are amazing. Couple of fish cutlets. There's a cute little nubber there. A little fresh lemon to go over the top. And then a big pile of beautiful caponata alongside. Right? How good does that look?